Tyrannical Predator is the first boss from the Lies of P Overture DLC. First of all, this is a little bit of a surprise boss fight. No door, no blue summoning brazier thingy, but if you're an experienced Souls-like player, then you know a boss arena when you see one. It's a one-way drop into a suspiciously large area, and something crashes through the wall. You've seen this before. First, let's talk about the damage this boss deals. Some of your attempts on this boss may look like this. This boss kills you in about 3 hits, and that's with leveling up vitality and wearing up-to-date armor and all that normal RPG stuff. I should clarify that this is regular New Game, not New Game Plus, and I entered the DLC pretty much as soon as possible. I was trying to play it as the devs intended. Anyway, I think being killed in 3 hits is fine as long as the attack sequences aren't too long, and there's space between them to heal or do damage, and most importantly that the attacks are readable. On the first 2 points, I don't really have any complaints. The attack sequences tend to be around 3 attacks long, and most of the time there's a pretty generous window to attack or heal in between them. So, where I want to focus my critique is on the readability of the attacks. Let's take a look at my first attempt. I think the first attempt is always a great way to look at readability because you're sight reading. You can't rely on having memorized attack sequences or timings. First we've got a big bite. It has a big wind-up so the player knows an attack is coming. There's a bit of a snap when the attack is actually about to land, but I do manage to dodge this one the first time I saw it, so it's not too bad. Another bite with a wind-up, similar in timing to the last one, so I managed to dodge that one okay too. Then we come to what I'm calling the dash tail swipe. Don't mind the fact that I'm incorrectly taking a big swing here with the Fable attack. I was just hoping that he would take a rest there, but instead he launches into this big forward attack without much warning at all. And there's a sideways tail swipe happening at the same time, which I never saw in real time in any of my attempts. I really dislike this attack because it looks like he's headed away from you, so in the moment it feels like you're safe. But then the tail swipe comes out at a time that's really difficult to read, even if you know it's coming, which, again, I never knew was coming. Moving on. The dash tail swipe is often followed by this charge attack. This one really frustrated me. When does this attack actually come out? Reviewing this footage in slow motion, I think there's a little stutter before the bite. Right there. But even if that's the telegraph, you have to memorize how long the stutter is. Also, this is the frame where I start taking damage, well before the mouth closes. This makes it even more unintuitive to dodge. Just 2 frames later, the mouth is closed, and now it's obvious that you're too late. I think I was frustrated because I was trying to react to this bite animation, but now that I'm looking at it frame by frame, it's clear that it's impossible to react to the bite. And I guess you're supposed to be reacting to the stutter earlier and then know the timing of how long after that the bite comes, but I just really dislike it. These are my least favorite attacks in Souls-like bosses. They can single-handedly sink a boss if they're used too frequently or if they do too much damage. This one is doubly bad because the dash tail swipe and the charge are very often chained together, making for 2 unreadable attacks back to back. Anyways, circling back to my first attempt, we have this boss's bread and butter attacks. It's a series of 3 or 4 bites. The readability on these is okay. One issue is that this boss is so big and attacks with his whole body, so in general it can be difficult to read when and where his hitboxes are going to become active. This is kind of a minor thing, but it's a problem with all of his attacks, and indeed many attacks from huge enemies in Souls-like games across the board. It did push me to dodging most of the time instead of trying to parry, since the timing on the dodging is more forgiving. But like I said, kind of minor, but it does leave a bad taste in my mouth. Ultimately, it took me 12 attempts over the course of about 20 minutes or so to kill the Tyrannical Predator. Even a bad boss can be saved by the fact that you don't have to spend too much time on it. Overall, I'd rank the Tyrannical Predator in the okay category of bosses. Not terrible, certainly not great. I like bosses that are tough but fair. This boss's toughness comes from its high damage output, no question on that. On fairness, I do think there are a couple things it does well. The attacks are telegraphed reasonably well, there's no visual clutter preventing me from seeing them, the attack sequences aren't too long, and there are ample opportunities to heal or do damage in between them. It's really the readability of the timing of the attacks that hurt my enjoyment of this boss. This game demands precision in timing of your dodges, especially parries, so I expect the same precision from the game telling me when I need to do those things. Oh, and one closing thought. What is Gemini doing here?
Whew! The size of that thing! Is that how big they normally get? Anyway, that was a huge takedown, buddy. Might I say, you're pretty good at this.
I don't appreciate your patronizing tone, Gemini. Nobody asked you.